Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Early Edge in 5, powered by SportsLine. I'm Grace Remington. So happy you could join us today on one of the best sports betting shows out there. But before we get started, you already know what to do. Please like this video. We are at 29 likes. Let's get to 100 likes by the end of this stream, okay? And please subscribe to the SportsLine YouTube channel. That's your ticket into the chat. It's a sub-only chat, and I want you in there. I want to see what you have to say. Now, let's take a look before we get started at how we did last night. We went 6-3 overall. The coach getting the sweep in his guest appearance yesterday. Lots of crazy high-scoring baseball games last night, and he's cashing in on that. But remember, we have more picks from our Early Edge cappers tonight, almost every night. I think every night, actually, on HQ. Check out that 6 o'clock Eastern hour. We got Sia, we got M Squared, we got the Maestro, and we got Proppy. That's going to be a fun hour. And then at 8 for the nightcap, we got Allan Bell and Larry once again. Remember, you can watch on the CBS Sports app, cbssports.com, Paramount Plus, and Pluto TV. All right, let's bring in the crew now. And we got a full house today. We got Frickin' Frack, Allan Bell, and PropStarz. Guys, lots of day games in MLB today. So 9 games left on the schedule for us to choose from. And Spector, as always, with your beautiful view, please start us off today.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really need to be here today. You could take yesterday's podcast and you could just cut and put the same thing. Yesterday, we did Hunter Brown and over 5.5 strikeouts, and his median was 7 on the last 10 games, and he'd gone over 8 times. And Colorado was hitting 26% strikeout rate against right-handed pitchers. Well, today we're doing Eduardo Rodriguez over 5.5 strikeouts at -140, and he's gone over in 8 out of the 10 games. He has a median of 7 strikeouts per game, and instead of 26%, we're going 27% strikeouts at Kansas City Royals against left-handed pitchers instead of right. It worked last night. Hunter Brown had 7 strikeouts. Let's just hope we end up with the same result tonight.
All right. Thank you, Spector. Love it. And we got more K-props on the way and a fun collab that we've been working on for a while, so stay tuned for that, everybody. I see 67 likes. Let's get to 100 by the end of the stream, okay? I see people in the chat saying Matt Olson owes us one. Well, lucky for you all, Allan Bell, once again, going back to the well with the best team in the league against right-handed pitching, a trio of Braves picks. AB, what you got for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Matt Olson does owe us. All right. So first off, let's just not waste any time. We're going to him over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. If anyone watched the Atlanta Braves game last night, first off, M Squared said it was going to be the best hitting conditions of all season, and the man didn't tell a lie. We're going to see similar to that tonight. We've seen some storms that have gone through the area here. Nice, hot, humid. And Matt Olson was literally the only person who didn't have an RBI. There were like 25 runs scored in that game. Matt Olson took up 2 walks, and that cut down his opportunities there, but it's not going to happen 2 nights in a row. So we're going to Olson over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, -120. Now, like we have Frickin' Frack, we have brothers on this show and the Braves as well. Austin Riley over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at +100. We've talked about it for a week and a half, essentially a week leading into the All-Star game, that Austin Riley was, you talk about owing you one. This dude couldn't have hit a beach ball into the Pacific Ocean. And last night, our man exploded. I think he ended up with 7 RBIs. The man was crushing bombs left and right. He's got his bat going. So we're going to take him over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at +100. And then EC, I know you like this one. Kyle Schwarber over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, -145. Look, I'm just going to tell you, anytime that we have Kyle Schwarber against a right-handed pitcher, we're doing it. Leadoff hitter, left-handed. Our man just hit nukes. And it was nice. Grace, you want to talk about the most least sweat of all time? All right, we played Schwarber last night. The first pitch against the Phillies, bomb, Schwarber, gone. That one was done, wrapped up, and over. So we're going to play those 3, and hopefully, you know what? Drop some more bombs tonight.
Yeah, I texted AB right away. I was like, you're a genius. All right, we know the Braves are going to come through, which they did with, 15 runs or whatever last night, but you hit it on the first at-bat when he got up to bat, and Bryce Harper still couldn't get that number for me all night. It was so frustrating, but congrats.
Love that. Schwan50 in the chat says AB actually stands for Atlanta Braves. It all makes sense now.
It does. They're like a college baseball team. Like, they just put up like 5 runs in the first every single night. It's nuts, man.
They're a fun team to bet. All right. Now, the K-Prop collab we have all been waiting for. Allan, let's see the graphic. This is the Goose and Gatito K-Prop collab brought to you by PropStarz and Remy. Goose is, Proppy, what kind of cat is that? The refined one sitting right there.
A seal point Siamese.
And then Gatito is the degenerate one laying belly up. That's what EC looked like after a Saturday golf round.
Accurate.
Our cats love K-Prop, so we got two for you today. We're starting with Charlie Morton, under 6.5 strikeouts at -135. I have this number at 5.9, so that's odds of -162. That gives us a small edge on the current odds of 8%. Now, Proppy, Morton has been a little surprising this year, going over this number in 9 of 18 starts. That's 50%, but you're saying this matchup against Arizona is just too good to pass up.
Yeah, Charlie Morton has had a fine season, Grace, especially in the K department. He's really been a rock. He's been super consistent, but this matchup is very difficult, in my opinion, against the Diamondbacks. They possess the third lowest K rate versus opposing right-handed pitchers. They also have a top 5 OPS. So on the other side of things, they can easily get to Morton and potentially give him a short night. Also, an anecdotal piece of evidence that I think supports this play is this is the second time that Morton has faced the Diamondbacks this season. There's been 4 other times where he's faced the team twice. On the second go-around, he's always had fewer Ks than his first start. So I think there's a familiarity aspect as well where the Diamondbacks will be prepared for him. So yeah, I like him to go under 7 strikeouts.
Yeah, good note there, Proppy. All right, next we have Justin Verlander going under 6.5 strikeouts at -106. That's when we turned it in. I think it might be at -112 now. But by the way, guys, this number is dropping to 5.5 across the board. So if you like it, bet it right now. I have this at 5.4. Proppy, I think you said you had it in the 4 to 5 range. So I have the odds set at -226. That's a 31% edge on this price right now. Proppy, he's gone over this number twice in 13 starts. Now he's up against the White Sox, who have a strikeout rate of 24.5% against right-handed pitching. So we might look at that and worry, okay, like, you know, that's a high K rate team. Why are you still confident in this fade?
Yeah, so if we look at the graphic we have up right now, Grace, you've got a couple of young cats right there. These are 2 old cats, and particularly Verlander is a very old cat, and his numbers have fallen off a cliff. He's still a good pitcher, but his strikeout numbers have absolutely plummeted. A lot of the advanced metrics that I like to look to, he's having career worst season. Swinging strike percentage, his contact rate is higher than it's ever been. So honestly, at 6.5, he is a fade to me, regardless of the opponent. Even though the White Sox do possess a high K rate, it doesn't worry me with Verlander. I don't think it's going to necessarily be a good matchup for him. I would feed him versus any opponent at this number. So yeah, I think 6.5 is probably 2 Ks too high for the stage of Verlander's career.
Yeah, his 20% K rate, the lowest it's been since 2014. His walks rate is also up. And by the way, my vet just referred to Gatito as a senior. He's only 7, so I appreciate you calling him a young cat and appreciate all the compliments in the chat to both Goose and Gatito. But yeah, that was our first installation of the G&G K-Prop collab on a washed up Wednesday. EC, take us home, please.
Boy, I don't even know how to follow that, Grace. But I do have a lot of picks today. And I know, what's my old saying that, hey, if you fade me, I hope you lose? Well, I got 5 of them for you. So if you fade me, yeah, I hope you lose. All right, let's start in baseball tonight. Cody Bellinger of the Cubs, over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. I got it at -130. I think it's up to like -150 or maybe even more right now. He has 2 hits in 4 of his 5 games since the All-Star break. So he's on a roll. He's over this number in 15 of his last 18. And he's 3 of 10 with 2 home runs against Trevor Williams. But even more so, he's showcasing himself for a trade and a new contract. So there you go. He's trying to give the Cubs the best he has before they trade him. Expect him to go over at Wrigley Field tonight against the Washington Nationals. And then for the 3rd straight day, let's go with Gleyber Torres, over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs at -140. I mean, he's hit for us in the first 2 times this week. Why not go again? Has a hit in 9 straight and 14 of his last 16 games. He's scored a run in 6 of his last 7. In the other one, he had an RBI, which was last night, or the other night when he didn't score a run, and he won for us all on a home run last night. So, hey, we'll take it where we can. All right, then we got 3 for the Open Championship, 3 placement solos. So we gave you a parlay yesterday, Brooks Koepka, Tommy Fleetwood, and Victor Hovland, top 20, plus 850. I call it the coach special. Well, now we'll do these singles. If you lose the coach special, well, we're going to make our money back this way. Start with Dustin Johnson, top 20 at plus 150. Get the best number on FanDuel. It's in good form on the Live Tour and has top 10s in his last 2 Open Championships. We'll play the plus 20, still get plus 150. I like it. We'll also go to another Live golfer, Bryson DeChambeau, at plus 220 on DraftKings. He has 3 top 20s in his last 4 majors, and he was tied for 8th in last year's Open Championship. Good enough for me. And finally, Corey Connors, top 30 at plus 160 on FanDuel. Now, this one's a lot lower on some of the other books, so find the best number. But he's made 7 of his last 12 majors cuts, and they've all been top 30s. So here's the thing about him. He's the ultimate boom or bust. But if he makes the cut, pretty confident he's going to finish in the top 30. Had a big final round on Sunday in Scotland to go from like 59th to 19th. Let's hope he does it again, but maybe with some less of a sweat this time for us.
All right, thank you, EC. I want to take a question from Big Cheesy here. He says, I think Spector could dunk over EC. Thoughts?
Oh, I'd take that bet all day.
If you lowered the rim for me.
He still can dunk over me.
Say, look, we do have a height distribution here that is, yeah.
You know, everybody needs a short guy in their life. I mean, look, for The Rock, he got Kevin Hart. Coach just ended up with me. So, you know, like that's that's how it's going down. But
and I will say this, Spector, I'm very poor on the defensive end in basketball. I'm very poor on the offensive end as well. So I would not doubt if a lower rim, you might be able to get up and posterize me there.
All right.
I mean, maybe dunk over you, but you know, we're still waiting on the AB Spector shooting competition.
Yes, we are.
I look forward for that one day.
Yeah, we need a SportsLine get together here at HQ in Nashville. So all of these, we got to turn the talk into action, right? Okay, someone in the chat asked where we can find, was it the Verlander? I think you guys are asking about. It's still at 6.5, minus 116 now at FanDuel. I'm also seeing it at Bookmaker, PointsBet, and I just lost my page, Unibet and Bet Rivers. So I know not every state has those books, but hopefully that helps out some people. Okay, before we get to the recap screen, I have a favor to ask of you all. The Early Edge is a nominee for the Best Sports Podcast category in the People's Choice Podcast Awards. Now, we appreciate you guys so much for tuning in every single morning and afternoon and making this show so much fun. You're a big part of the show. I hope you know that. So we would love if you could nominate us to advance to the final round. And to do so, go to podcastawards.com/app/signup. Scroll to the sports category, and that's where you can vote. The entire process takes less than a minute. If you're listening online, the link is included at the top of the episode description. Again, that's podcastawards.com/app/signup. And thank you again, guys. All right, let's get to the recap screen now. I'm sorry, I always laugh at EC's selections taking up the entire screen. I know you can't. All right, we got Cody Bellinger over 1.5 hits, runs, RBI at minus 130 in the Nats Cubs. And Yankees Angels, we got Gleyber Torres over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs at minus 140. Then in the Open Championship, top 20 finish for Dustin Johnson at plus 150. Top 20 for Bryson at plus 220. And for Corey Connors at plus 160. In the, what game is this? Tigers Royals. Specty's on Eduardo Rodriguez over 5.5 Ks at minus 140. The Gatito and Goose K-Prop collab has Charlie Morton under 6.5 strikeouts at minus 135 in the D-backs Braves, and Justin Verlander under 6.5 Ks at minus 112 now in the White Sox Mets. And then Allan Bell with his trio of Braves picks. Matt Olson over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs at minus 120. Austin Riley over 2.5 hits, runs, RBI at plus 100. And Schwarbs over 1.5 hits, runs, RBI at minus 145. All right, that's going to do it for us on today's episode of The Early Edge in 5. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. This crew is back tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern. But remember to catch a whole bunch of our cappers tonight on CBS Sports HQ at 6 and 8 Eastern. For Specty, Proppy, AB, and EC, I'm Grace Remington. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the pay window.